It's showtime here in Baybay City, Leyte. How's it going, everyone? Let me know if there's any problems with the sound. I got my Dulce mic here. I'm coming to you live from the bedroom studio of Dan's retirement journey, Philippines bound. How's it going there, Tim? Yeah, it's about time we got home. Yeah, I'm going to tell you the exciting adventure getting here to Bye Bye City Leyte and what I've experienced so far. Yeah, just in time for Christmas. I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. Yeah, I shouldn't be singing. Pink, how's it going? I certainly did enjoy our time together when we were in Manila. I truly appreciate taking the time out of your schedule to come down and spend some time with Minnie and I. That was like the highlight of the entire Philippine adventure so far. Pinky Gray High from Tim. I don't know. I'm going to have to figure it out. Maybe I didn't turn it on yet. So I turned on a few of the videos. They have dollar signs, but I'm going to have to figure out. They don't call me Pink. They don't call me Low Tech Dan for nothing. So we're gonna have to figure it out. What's going on? Crystal's Adventure. Hi, how are you? Thanks for coming to the live stream. I truly appreciate it. Aras TV. How are you? I'm doing okay. I'm doing fabulous. Fabulous. Pinky Gray, hey, what do you say? Pinky, aren't you on the air right now? Yes, you probably are. Larice, the most eligible bachelorette in the Philippines, except that you're probably having a long distance relationship with somebody, are you? Come on, you could announce it here on Dan's channel. Yeah, don't quit my day job. Exactly. Yeah, my day job is retirement. Yes, indeed. Yahoo! Yes, that's right, Larice, because as you know, I have become monetized since the last time that we talked. But I don't know how to turn everything on, so I'm going to have to check with you folks. Also met with Mel and Des. We had a meeting at the Dunkin' Donuts in downtown Baybay City over by Prince Mall. That was very, very exciting. Buddha, shout out, make a love shout out, Buddha. How's life been treating you lately? Thanks so much for that shout out you did on online for me, man. That was just a beautiful thing. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Larice. We're in the money. We're in the money. That's my second job, huh? After retirement. Or my first job after retirement, I should say. Well, it's been an exciting journey, as you know. We're in Bye Bye City Leyte in the house, and so this is what do they call it now? The main bedroom, I guess. It's got its own CR and stuff. I wish I could show it to you, but it's kind of disorganized. We're just getting settled in, and we had like 22 balikbayan boxes there that Minnie is working on to get everything separated out so that when the relatives start coming over, she can share, the joy of us being here with everyone, that sort of thing. Tim says hello, but Tim, you have a girlfriend, don't you? Tim says hello, Larice. I think he's hooked up though. nice of a guy as he is. We did share breakfast together in Pampanga in Angela City, Balibago, I believe it's called. Yeah. And we ran into a few YouTubers while we were at it. Also, I had to hold Minnie back from getting up out of her chair to go say hello to people. Minnie was like, "Whoa, that's Mercy, and I said, "Yeah, Hold on there, Minnie. They're not movie stars. You don't want to frighten them. Don't go up and surprise them too much because they might be easily excited, and you might not like the outcome. But anyway, so she held back. Thank you, thank you. We are monetized, but I don't see the dollar sign. So I have to go into YouTube Studio or wherever I have to go, and I have to turn everything on. You guys let me know what I got to do. I got all these emails. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. Buddha, Larry says hello. Hey, Larry Lee, what's it gonna be? How's it going? So, Larry Lee, you changed your name from Lazy Larry to Lazy Larry Lee. But of course, everyone knows you're not lazy. So we're just going to call you Larry Lee for today. Because when they search for you, they come up with that Lazy Larry cartoon channel. So I full well understand the reason for you wanting to do it. Larice, just say, Sissy, love you, love you, love you. Good morning from Albuquerque. Good evening to you, Dan. Thank you. Rudy D. Martinez is in the house. Thank you for joining us on this live. Manny Lynn, hello, how are you? A supporter from almost the very, very beginning of the journey. I'm at work now. We'll just be listening to the back. Okay, Larry, we appreciate you being here. That's for sure. Absolutely. And Tim says hello to Rudy and to Larry. Big loving kisses from Larice to Crystal's adventure. Yeah. Big sloppy kiss with little tongue involved, I'm sure. Oh, no. I apologize. I'm getting crazy already. Yeah. Oh, hey, by the way, you may be hearing the fan in the background, so that's what's if you hear the noise and the mic is picking it up, that's what that is. So I turned down the AC. There is an air conditioner in the room, and I turned that off so that the mic definitely would have picked that up. I put the fan on low. So yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit about let's see, what does Buddha say? Retirement, my friend, trending live TV is coming to help you with this monetization. Congrats. Thank you. I appreciate it. I do appreciate all the help I can get because they don't call me Low Tech Dan for nothing. Welcome to, yes, thank you so much, Trending Live. I appreciate it. Yep, I sure do. Yeah, Tim said I do have a girlfriend. Oh. So listen, I want to talk about a bunch of stuff, but let's start with the whole girlfriend thing, right? So I'm only here so far for 4 or 5 days in Baybay City. We hit the ground running. Well, one of the first things I do is I go down to Prince Mall because we're going to go and see some of the expats. They gather there in the morning to get their morning cup of coffee, right? It's a very nice Dunkin' Donuts at Prince Mall. So we head over there and I start meeting the guys, including John, who is from Norway, who is, let's see, how do I say? He is married to he's married to, you know how relationships work in the Philippines, right? He's married to Gigi, right? Gigi is she would be the sister to Ina's father. Ina would be my stepdaughter, Minnie's child. And so, things get rolling right away when we're sitting there at the Dunkin'. And then so she comes in and says hello, and John's already there. And it was very nice to see John. Of course, we're meeting up with John and his friend from Norway almost every morning, and the other expats that come over. But one of the first things that happens, I'm looking for the person, the expat who's from the town that I'm from, which is Sacramento, California. Because when I visited a few years ago, of course, you had the gentleman from Sacramento. Well, they tell me almost immediately, hey, Dan, you're the expat from Sacramento passed away 3 weeks ago. So 3 weeks prior to our arrival, he passed away at age 77. And he was headed back or intend on heading back to Sacramento in order to get a checkup. To get all to go through all the tests, blood tests and blood work, have the heart checked, and make sure everything was going okay. In fact, they told me that he had already purchased his ticket and he was headed home. Or rather, he was headed to Sacramento to get all the medical stuff done. Manolin, Sissy Larice, hello, and how are you doing? Let's see who Nightbot, whose link Nightbot draw. Oh, it was JL Valenciano, one of my favorite YouTube vloggers. Lazy Larry Lee. Yeah, Lazy Larry Lee. I think Lazy Larry Lee is a single man from the States. Yeah, I know. I'm going to have to figure out how to turn on monetization for that. I don't know. It should have showed up on the live stream automatically, someone told me, but it didn't. So I'm not sure. Three of the videos are monetized. I've done them manually, the last three. If you go in there and you look, you're going to see commercials on there already. They're kind of interesting and boring commercials, so you'll probably bounce right out of them. Oh, you need to turn on the super chat. Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that in the next day or two and be ready to go on the next live stream. Thank you, Crystal's Adventure. I truly appreciate your support and the support of everyone who was involved, that went to town at making sure that the watch hours were met. And it was kind of a surprise to me when it finally came down, because I've been looking in my monetization in the YouTube studio, and it wasn't budging. The last notice that I saw, on that little graph was something like 38.75 or 38.80 or 37.80, something like that. I don't really remember. And then the next thing I know, I'm getting the emails in my email box, in my inbox, that says you've been monetized. Where to go in, fill out this application stuff. I still don't know what to do with AdSense and all that. So far, I just got the YouTube notifications, but I have been able to monetize the videos. Lazy Larry says, hello, Larice. I don't know if that means he's interested or not. Dan, I can help you with the steps to get the dollar sign. Okay, so we'll chat later. Maybe not after this live, because it's getting kind of late, but within the next day or two for sure. So I was going to tell you what all was going on. Oh, you go to YouTube Studio, $, and activate it, but you have to fill out the papers, sir. Okay. I knew there was paperwork involved. Yeah, the paperwork is the boring part, right? All right. So anyway, Minnie and I end up getting here by taking the Lapu Lapu, which is now servicing Baybay City, Leyte. So we took the overnight ferry, which is a 7-hour ferry ride. And I'll be posting a video about that pretty soon. So it was really, really interesting, because we actually were going to take the Super Cat ferry, the fast ferry from Cebu to Ormoc, and then they canceled it. And they sent me an email saying the fast ferry, both the trips have been canceled for that day. And then somebody told us about the Lapu Lapu overnight ferry. And so we were able to book in the air conditioning section on that. And, we bunked out on the top bunks. Can you imagine seeing me climbing up to the top bunk? Anyway, so I got up there, and all I could say is, being an old man and having to climb down off that thing when you have to go pee is not fun. But I had to climb down off of that thing about 2 or 3 times that night in order to hit the CR. But it worked out okay, because it brings you practically to your front door. So how close are we to the pier? Our house is exactly 7 minutes as the crow flies from the pier to Candatum, where the house is. So when we got to the house, man, oh man, everything was just like beautiful. We have some things we have to deal with that we're dealing with right away. One of them was that I wanted to share was the air conditioning. So although we have these air conditioners, the window size air conditioners that most of you are familiar with, and they're not inverters or whatever they call them, so they're the high use electricity ones, and the electric bill has been climbing. It's almost unbearable in recent months. It's been climbing so fast. I decided that, oh man, we got to get an inverter AC for the living area, right? Because it gets so hot during the daytime. And I don't know if you know it, but when you build a home out of concrete blocks, out of hollow block, it absorbs the sun. The concrete absorbs the heat from the sun, unless it's insulated using styrofoam or something like that. So of course, low budget Dan, he said, it'll be okay. We'll mitigate it. We'll deal with it by just putting in the AC unit. So it wasn't here. So the first thing we did was we had to go shopping for that AC unit. We were able to find a deal on one. One of the hardware stores was having a manufacturer's promo on it. And so we were able to go make the purchase, and they came and installed it the same day. Of course, installed it, not hooked up the electrical, because they're not allowed to do that. So the next day, we had to get our brother-in-law to find one of the electricians that he knows to come over and hook up the AC unit permanently. I could have done it temporarily, because it's easy. But the thing is, I didn't want to start a fire or blow somebody up. Understanding how electricity works in the Philippines is fairly simple. You got two hot leads. It's not like in the United States where you got a hot lead, a neutral wire, and a ground wire. That's how it works in the US. Here in the Philippines, two hots, and you're in business, right? Which is both good and makes me nervous, if you know what I mean. But anyway, so the next day, the electrician comes and starts installing everything. And then I had him do a few other things, like install some outlets. All right. Somebody has to answer this question for me. Tim, somebody, why is it that they only have one outlet in the kitchen, on the kitchen counter? One outlet. I've been to 2 or 3 or 4 people's homes in the Philippines so far, and all I see are one outlet. One outlet that has to perform 10 different functions. So I had him right away. I said, hey, I need 2 more outlets on the counter. And since he was the electrician, we were lucky in that we were able to hook up with the electrician who wired the entire house. So the electrician knew where all the junction boxes were. He knew where all the breakers were and where they went. And so he said, oh, no, you're going to have to run a new line from the box. So listen, he knew where everything was. So, hey, if he said we had to run a new line, then we have to run a new line from the box. But that means that somebody has to crawl up underneath the attic when it's like 210 degrees, hotter than in the depths of hell. And they have to pull wire. And he said he was going to do it. And it terrified me. I said, man, listen, I almost had to pull a body out of there, out of the attic one time at my house in Sacramento, California. He says, don't worry, I'll be okay. But he was okay. He was able to go up there. He found a junction box that only had a couple of amps on it, that wasn't heavily used. And he wired the extra 2 outlets into that, right? But when he came down off of there, I'm telling you, he was spent, and it took a couple of hours. I'm almost sure he had heat stroke, or he was close to it. So he had to come down and rest for like 2 hours before he was able to continue on with his work. So I'm using StreamYard. Should I be using YouTube to get the $sign? Crystal's Adventure, thanks again for coming. I really appreciate it. Buddha, you are popular tonight. Hey, look, it worked. So before the stream, right, I was messing around going, man, Nightbot is not working right. Nightbot has not dropped Sammy's connect, has not dropped Sammy's link. And so I'm like, what's going on? Like Sammy's number one, right? So I mean, I was fooling around. I said, I'm going to go in there and I'm just going to put Sammy in. I'm going to add 2 or 3 more Sammys in there to see if it picks up the link. And look, Nightbot woke up and now is dropping Sammy's link to Sammy's channel. I am so pleased, that Nightbot is awake. So anyway, where was I in the story? So anyway, it frightened me what happened with the electrician. The electrician did have a helper, and I was surprised. I thought for sure the electrician was going to say, "Okay, guess what? You're the apprentice. You go up there and hang the wire." And I was explaining that in the States we have this, we feed it most of the way there. Even if you have to go up there, it's being fed, and so you won't die or put your life in danger up there if it's too hot. Things when you're running new line, you should be doing it first thing in the morning. And he attempted to, but by the time there's so much stuff to do. But by the time that 8 or 9 or 10 o'clock came around, it was already blazing outside. I mean, it was so hot, not intolerable. I mean, it wasn't as hot as it gets in Sacramento. But when you combine the humidity with the heat temperature, I mean, it feels like it's 110 degrees. So anyway, that's the story. I'm sticking to it. Dan, do you want people to watch ads? This will increase the amount of money that you get from YouTube. Yeah, I sure do. The reason why is because we got Coach Mavs, who's going to be returning soon to do videos. And in fact, I already have a couple of Coach Mavs videos in the can already that have to be edited and then put online. And that will be connected to when we were in Pampanga and Manila. So Mavs went out there and he did a nice video of all the changes there by the U.S. Embassy, how they turned that into a beach, and they're doing a cleanup. And I think that was under Duterte, and it's probably being continued under Marcos. So, I mean, it was a nice video, and I wish I could have put it up right away. But, the story to be told here is at the moment is minionized travel moving around, and so we have to get through those videos that are already in line, being edited, ready to be published, and then when we get to the Manila story and the Cebu story, then we're going to be, of course, presenting all of Coach Mav's adventures. By the way, I should tell you that Coach is coming back to Baybay City. I don't know if that was always the plan, but we met with Coach Mavs, of course, when we were in Pampanga. And we shared a meal with him, and then we worked out details about what the channel is going to look like moving forward. And monetization had to be factored in, because he spent so much time going out there and taking a great video that he needs to be compensated for it. And so I'm figuring that the monetization helps a lot, keeping the channel moving forward. Hey, it's not that I don't have money. It's not that I don't have money to be able to push it forward. I have a little bit of change, but who knows what, I'd rather be self-sufficient, where the channel supports itself, as opposed to me having to subsidize the growth of the channel, that sort of thing. Because, I'm a very generous guy. I want to remain a very generous guy, I mean, without going into too much detail about how much money I have to spend every month. By the way, yeah. So things have changed in terms of cost in the Philippines. So a lot of the Filipinos here that are in the chat today, they know this. They know that costs of electricity and food are going absolutely nuts. And so Dan's budget has been blown sky high. I wish I could tell you that I'm going to be able to make it on $600 a month, but it ain't going to happen because, number one, the cost of electricity is going crazy. And even though I don't have to pay rent, I still have to buy food and I still have to pay the utility bills. That's water and electricity. Very, very important. And it gets hot here. And if you're going to run AC, I'm not saying I'm running it 24 hours a day, but you're going to have to allow for an increase in electric bills. And there's a lot of debate. We've been talking about it with other expats, how to handle or how to mitigate the high cost of energy in the Philippines. And I'm confused. I'm still working through it, which avenue of approach to take. We've been talking about generators. We've been talking about solar. We've been talking about cutting all the power to the house. We've been talking about everything under the sun. That was funny, right? Solar, sun, anything that you can imagine as a way to remedy it. We've been talking about it. So Chico Libre is reminding me that yes, Pinky Gray orchestrated a raid, and that was instrumental, along with help from others such as Filipina Raquel and others who really, really went to town on getting those watch hours handled by requesting assistance from people all over the place, including their friends in the United States, in order to pump up the watch hours. So it is truly appreciated. I mean, I can't thank you enough for all the help that you've given me in boosting the channel hours so that we can get monetized. Ebony, how are you? Nice to see you. Thanks so much. I appreciate you being here, and truly appreciate your support. The way you've been supporting the channel is not lost on me, and the way others have been, believe me, it's acknowledged, and I will make sure absolutely that I remain loyal to all the folks that have assisted. Yeah. Thank you. Have a great day. Have a great evening. Ebony, yourself. Are you here in the Philippines? I have a feeling you might be. Because we were raised on not being a slave to electricity. Yes. So what's the answer, Tim? That's the question. What is the answer? So I know it seems weird that I would go ahead and seek out, putting in the big 2.5 horsepower AC unit. But I felt like it was necessary. It wasn't necessary because that the relatives needed it. It was necessary because I needed it, and it was hot as hell inside of this house. So now we have that under control. This 2.5 horsepower higher AC unit. Not the best on the market, but it's not garbage, by any stretch of the imagination. It's somewhere in the middle. It served the purpose, and we'll see how long it lasts. I'm not afraid of it, and I also know that I could replace it and do it myself in the event that this thing tanks at some time in the future. Oh, but still, we have a whole bunch of stuff there. So that's the first thing, right? So that's taken care of. But there's other stuff. There's more. Let me tell you about it. So here's the other thing I noticed. So they run. It's an unusual thing, but not unusual for the Philippines. But I mean, it was unusual for me that I didn't catch it. Okay, gray water. Where does gray water go? I mean, if you watch other YouTube channels where they're building homes, they're coming up with solutions for gray water. I never even thought about it. So when I get here, I see the evacuation line. I see the drain line for the showers and the sinks, and it is coming out of the house, and it's being directed towards an area of land that was previously a swamp, but it is now owned by somebody. It's land that's about 200 square meters. It's a lot, a subdivision. And basically, my house is built on reclaimed swamp land. As a matter of fact, I think that I only have like 3 meters, and then I hit water from where the house is, right? Which is good or bad. I mean, I did a geological check on this. through Visayas University is another governmental agencies, and discovered that it ain't so bad. I mean, it's worse to live up on the hill or up in the mountain where they have the mudslides. That's very, very unstable soil. But where we're living, we actually have two rivers that heading straight down into the ocean. These two rivers carry huge volumes of water. And so far, they have saved the city of Baybay City, some parts of it, like Kadatam, from flooding. And so, but I'm getting off topic, because what I was talking about really is the gray water system. And so what do you do with the gray water? You can't dump it on somebody else's property. At the very least, you have to redirect the gray water so it goes into municipal territory. That's the road, right? But guess what? They don't have a system right here like they do in the States. They don't have infrastructure like they do in the States. So it's something that has to be dealt with. Hey, Crystal Adventure. Lacey Larry wants to know how you're doing. Is that how are you doing, Larry? Or is it how you doing, baby? And are you an eligible bachelorette? So anyway, so you get me? So then I went to work. I went out and I got guys from the neighborhood and I said, come over. I have a task for you. And the first idea I had was to build a rain garden. And everybody in the States, you probably know what a rain garden is, right? You got to dig out earth. You got to put in big rock and then little rock and then littler rock until you have a place for the water to go. And then you redirect your pipes to the rain garden. And so, but listen, that's a rain garden. What I basically had to build what I had to start was building a cistern, a place for the water to filter and then go back to earth. And so that's in progress. But I've had difficulty, I've had difficulty with labor. So it's been so hot here that the guys that I've hired have only lasted a couple of days, and then they don't show up again. And then I got to go into the neighborhood. I got to get two more guys. Then they don't show up again. Then I got to go into the neighborhood and I got to find two more guys. And so it doesn't have anything to do with really. Hi, Marion, how you doing? Thanks for coming to the live. I appreciate you. So it doesn't have much to do with the fact that I'm not paying them enough money. I'm paying them plenty of money to dig. It's the problem is it's hot as hell out there. And so I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to have to shorten the shift. That they're good. They work really, really hard for the first 6 hours or so, and things kind of like fall apart, and then they don't show up the next day. And so I've seen this pattern, and so I have to figure out, I have to get this thing done is what I have to do. So now the hole is dug. I said, now I got a hole, right? I got a hole that goes down deep enough, and now we're going to have to start filling that up first with the big rocks. I'm just doing it off the internet, off Google. I did a Google search. I said, how do I do this gray water filtration system naturally where I don't destroy anything? And it gives you a step-by-step guide as to how to do it. And that's all I'm doing is following that. All right. So that's the next thing we're dealing with. Yeah. The new hospital, coming. The hospital thing is going to be a whole new exciting thing there, Larry. Yeah, there's good news and bad news where the hospital is concerned, but I'm going to go over that. So it says, let's see, cleaning kills toys all around here. Children. She's letting you know right away she's got kids. That's always a good thing. Freestyle Mechanic, Pinky Gray. Thank you, Freestyle. I truly appreciate you and the support. And Pinky Gray. Thanks, Mario. Of course, Mario, I know. Mario, thank you. 1,000 thank yous. And Ruby, I apologize to you and the Nightbot for not making it to your lives. Of course, you know that you and your partner, your husband, You're always welcome here to the house here in Baybay City, Leyte. When you come visit your mom, please make sure that you let me know in advance. You send me a message through Facebook or Messenger service, and I will respond. You're always welcome here. You and Ethel Woods can show up anytime, even unannounced, and we will welcome you with open arms. Larry says, Crystal, sounds like your work is never done. Yeah, woman's work is never done. A Filipina's job is forever. A hardworking life. You said it right, sir. 24 hours isn't enough. Larry, after this, gonna send kiddos to sleep. Life of a mother, sir. Yes, mommy is an extremely valuable commodity anywhere in the world, being a mommy. Yeah, $600 is not reasonable here, and I feel kind of like a fool, because I did that video where our friend from Baybay was, saying that he's living on $800 per month. I could hardly wait until we meet, because we're going to find out, where that budget is today. How the whole COVID thing and the changes have impacted the budget. Dan, just live outside and you won't have any electric bill. Well, that's true, except it rains a lot during rainy season. And, one of the creature comforts that I like is not getting wet. Hey, there you go, Larry. Nightbot dropped your link there. Mario, thanks for being here. I love you. I truly appreciate you being here. I think that mothers are underappreciated. Isn't that the truth, Larry? Isn't that the truth? I agree with you. And I haven't seen What the F Mike in a while. What the F, are you out there listening or watching in the background? Yeah, so that's the story on that. So we're working on that cistern tomorrow, the cistern or the drainage. Yeah, drainage does not exist in the Philippines. So you have to do, Tim, good point. You have to do whatever you can in order to mitigate your personal situation and not piss off your neighbors, quite frankly. You could see how irritated somebody's going to be if they see you dumping your gray water onto their property. I don't think that, I think that was a okay temporary solution, but I realized that, sooner or later we're going to have to deal with it, and then we're going to have to move that water. And so the plumber will be here tomorrow, and the plumber already knows what I have in mind. And so tomorrow they're bringing a crew of 3, the plumber and 2 assistants, and they're going to start working on it. By the way, Tim, I don't have downspouts, so they're going to incorporate the downspouts into the system. And we don't need to store water because we have city water here. But anyway, it'll all eventually work out. The plumber's also going to be working on plumbing in because we haven't fulfilled our original contract with this plumber, and so it needs to be fulfilled. So that means that they also have to do some work where they're going to be installing a pressure tank and a centralized hot water heater, not a large one, a small one, But anyway, Tim, Crystal said that she has acknowledged you. Yeah. Don't be messing with Tim, Crystal. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So my street floods every rainstorm. I know all we want to do really is keep the water away from the foundation of the house. And according to the brother-in-law, he showed me the trouble areas. We have built those up by putting soil there. But we're going to move water also away from the house. We only have about 2 or 3 meters between the house and the fence line, the property line. And we're going to have to squeeze some 4 or 5 inch line through there and have it connect with the downspouts to move it into that cistern that we're building. And I think that by doing that, it'll at least give us time to get to safety in case something happens. But everybody has told me around here, all the neighbors have said, yeah, we've been living here a long time. We've never had it flood. which is really unusual because, I mean, the water table is not that deep. That's the whole thing that concerns me. But, I mean, high tide, it only gets as high as something like, I think maybe 6 meters. My climb towards 6 meters from the surface. We built the house up. I've talked about it before. We brought in truckloads of gravel and boulders and all kinds of stuff to build it up as high as we could. And so I think all in all, we're about 5 or 6 feet above the surface of the earth, which would make it about 10 feet above where the water line is. And so I don't know. I think that when I talk to people, they say you've gone over and above, beyond what most people would have done, in order to mitigate flooding. JL is in the house. JL's Valenciano. How are you? How are you, my friend? Nice to see you here. Thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate you coming. Thank you for sharing. I truly appreciate you sharing to your community. We're connected now. Tim has some pretty interesting videos. The last one he posted, I don't know, maybe I'm falling behind on Tim's videos, but the one that he did where he talks about why the pharmacy is a mercury drug is not in some of the malls. Is it Size Mall, Shoe Mart, SM Mall? Well, anyway, go in there, watch the video, and you will be surprised. But that's the way that things happen all around the world, not just in the Philippines. Whoa, Nightbot, you dropped Sammy's channel name again. Oh, man, how I love it. 143, Sammy, where are you tonight? Internet connection was lost. Oh, Larice, most eligible bachelorette in the Philippines, and a mighty fine woman, if you don't mind me saying so myself. So let's see. Let's see. What's the translation for that? Because my Visine is a little rough. Yes. If you have the urge, please feel free to speak amongst yourselves. All right. So what's next? All right. So next, after that, I know. It's probably boring a lot of people, right? So, but next, after that, after we deal with this problem, which is going to take maybe another week because we still have to, we have to move wastewater into that cistern, right? And then it's got to work right. It's got to go down to earth. But listen, we tested it out already because it rained, and then you watch to see how long it takes for the water to soak into the groundwater. That's how you do it. So you have to watch. You have to keep an eye on it. You have to look at how much volume of water you have, and then how long it takes for it to dissipate or get soaked into the groundwater. And so thankfully, it was very, very fast in this torrential rain that we recently had. I was thinking to myself, man, God sent me this because wanted me to make sure that we had an adequate way of testing to see what the absorption level of the water was back into the ground. And so it worked out just great. And yes, it was dissipated and gone. The ground wasn't totally dry, but it wasn't muddy either. It had soaked in about 3 feet of water. It soaked into the groundwater or back to earth within a 24-hour period. And that is exciting. I mean, it means that it's going to work. So all we have to do now is make sure we don't screw it up by putting the correct material in the hole that's going to be able to filter that water as it makes its way back down to earth. Now, I know we could have put in a filtration system. That still is a possibility. Instead of going with natural filtration, we can go with artificial and natural filtration. So I could put filters in line and we could recycle the water back into the house. Not to use as drinking water or anything like that, but to recycle it back into, like, maybe even put a storage tank in there, and then a pump, and then have it pump back into the house so that we could use that as water to shower, do the same thing all over again. But I think that what we really want to do is we want the cheapest way, because they don't call me low budget Dan for nothing, but we need it to go down to earth as clean as possible, so that it can naturally recycle. Dan, could you also do videos on condos and apartments? I will for this area, because I think that that's what's missing. A lot of the videos is that people go into the big cities like Cebu, Manila, and different major cities, and areas, because that's where the concentration, or that's where the majority of people want to go. For example, number one place that people settle when they come to the Philippines is Makati. A lot of expats in Makati. According to some stats I saw somewhere, yeah, I know the citation is crappy. Some stats Dan saw somewhere. I was reading an article and showed that most expats settle in the Makati area of Manila. And then second is Cebu, Ayala and IT Park. And so I won't be going there and doing that. Too many people are doing that, but I could give you an idea of what it's like to rent an apartment or find housing in the province. So let's say Baybay City, Leyte, which has a population of a couple 100,000 people. I don't know officially how many it has. Unofficially, Dan's take on it, it has a couple of 100,000 people, and so that's a relatively small town. Kind of reminds me of the town of La Puente when I was growing up as a kid. Love and excitement from Larice. I don't mind telling you, I enjoy flirting with Larice. I do. So anyway, that's what's going on. Okay, so now what's next after that? All right. So gosh, the next one is kind of tough to talk about, and the reason is because because I was asleep at the wheel when this happened, and so I make mistakes, and so here's what happened. So they built a septic system, and the septic system is not that accessible for evacuation, so when you have to call for the service, yes, they do have service here. They have septic service. I don't know how many people actually take advantage, but here they have a what do they call it? They have a line for which if something goes wrong, it all dumps out. Right? So that is set up to dump out into the same area as the gray water system. So that troubles me a little bit. But most people, they have it set up that way. Okay, but when I don't know how you can tell when it gets full, but I think that they have like they have a manhole cover for access, and you lift the manhole cover. Usually it's made out of concrete because that's the inexpensive way to set this thing up. And it has like handles on it. You put like a metal bar through it. You need 2 or 3 guys. Each one grabs the end of the bars, 2 on one side, 2 on the other. You lift that SOB out of there. And then you look down in there, and when the tank is full, you call the service over, and they will either drop the hose down into the septic tank and suck the crap out, or they will go to the service clean out, and they will take it out of there. Well, guess what? We don't have either, because what ended up happening was we expanded the house towards the property line in the back, and we actually ended up building and tiling over the septic tank. Yes, I didn't know until I went back and reviewed some old video footage that is online if you want to see it. It shows where the septic tank originally was going to be in the exterior of the house in the backyard. Well, my brother-in-law comes to me and says, I have this great idea, right? And then I said, oh man, that does sound like a great idea. Let's go ahead and expand the house, so we can add a few hundred extra square feet without realizing that what I had done was given him permission to build over the top of the septic tank. Wow. So who does that? So this is the biggest problem that I'm going to have to deal with is how to do that. So the solution that I came up with is probably a little bit crazy and won't make a whole lot of sense. So, but I'm going to share it with you, right? Because I love making mistakes and then sharing it with you. All right, but we're going to build a separate tank out towards the front of the house. It's also going to serve as the parking area for cars and or motor scooters, right? And we're going to build another bathroom combination, another CR and shower combination, the way traditional Filipino CR. And it is going to sit on top of that septic system directly. And a lot of provinces, if you go out into a lot of provinces, you'll see the CRs built this way, away from the house, with the shower and the toilet combination. This is just in case I have to abandon the septic unit that is inside the house, that is part of the back of the house. Now we've come up with a solution of putting in another clean out by penetrating through the concrete septic tank that'll give it easier access for the septic service, the septic truck, to come in there and evacuate it when the need arises. So because I'm coming here a year after, the house has been built, I don't know where the level of how full it is. I don't know if there's rainwater in there. I have no idea what's going on. I would have been able to find out if I would have had access to that manhole cover, but I don't have access to it at this point. So we have to figure out a way to mitigate this because it's the most important. It's the most important, I would say, thing that we've had to deal with so far. And so the plumber and his team will be here tomorrow, and they're going to be. We're going to approach this like repairing a car. We're going to do the simplest stuff first, and then we'll do the hard stuff later. So, like I said, I'm going to build another septic tank. It's going to be a large one in case we have to abandon the first one that we built and figure out a way how to mitigate this situation with the septic tank. And that will be towards the front of the house. If you guys look at older videos, you'll see that there's a kubo, or what do they call it? Is it a kubo? Am I saying that right? It's a bamboo structure, and that is going to be the location of the new sewer system. So we'll be tearing that out once we're done with the cistern project, and the gray water collection or filtration system. Then we're going to go back, start work, disassemble that kubo, and we are going to go in there and then start digging it out, putting the masons to work to get this in place. And then we're going to have this all up and operating prior to dealing with the septic system that's in the house. I think that's the best way to approach it for right now. Just leave things be. And then the other thing I noticed is that I don't know what line goes. I don't know what line is the vent line, So hopefully the plumber tomorrow will be able to help me understand where the vent line is for that septic tank that's in the back of the house. And I want to make sure that bad boy is above the roof line. And so I'm not sure how we're going to approach that yet, but it has to be done. And I don't want to get into, you just want to do it that way because that's the way we do it in the States. But truth is that you don't want anybody inhaling any of those fumes that are coming out of the vent line. And you certainly don't want to have somebody back there not knowing that it's there, light up, a cigarette. I try to explain about how, I try to explain to everybody that builds up methane gas, and methane gas or those gases are dangerous. They can be both useful and harmful, but in any event, you have to figure out something, in order to make sure that, and also they could be hazardous to your health. And so we have to figure out some way in order to make sure that nobody gets hurt. It's a matter of safety. And so everybody just sort of looked at me when I'm talking about this, and they're just kind of going, "We don't know what the hell you're talking about." And then it starts getting me to second guess, what's going on. I'm sitting there, I'm kind of going, "Hey, is it me? Is it me?" But what's going on here? Why aren't people getting as excited as I am about this stuff? But in the end, they acquiesce. In the end, they kind of go, "Okay, well, we ain't paying for 10." So you have to do whatever you want, right? Yeah, you will have a problem with the septic tank system. Yes, no kidding. Oh, Billy, thanks for showing up. Hey, take care of yourself, Billy. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the gaming. If you guys haven't been over to Billy's channel, head over. Billy's a gamer. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna have a problem with the septic system, but doesn't everybody? I mean, honestly, Tim, doesn't everybody? So the most drastic thing, Tim, that I could think about that we could do, I mean, the most that I want to avoid have happen is just tear everything out, that was put there, and you expose the septic tank, and then you're gonna, mitigate everything. And in other words, if push comes to shove, you just take the whole thing apart, and you just start over again, right where it's at. In other words, the back end of the house comes off, you make it into a screened patio area, and go on with your life. Yeah, the poop tank. Oh, by the way, okay, so let's talk about this. I think it's important to talk about this a little bit, Crystal. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about the tank. Here's the thing that is bothers me a little bit. It troubles me. So I just want to talk about it for a minute. And it's going to sound a little politicized, and I apologize about this in advance. But when you go and you have a situation like it's the difference between East and West, if you will. There are a lot of similarities, but there are also a lot of differences. And one of the channels has been getting a lot of criticism because they're building traditional Filipino CRs. Okay, I have in this room, my Minnie and I, we have our own CR, right? This CR is built the way that Filipinos build CRs. And so if I were to take you in there, you're going to see a shower and a toilet combination. There's no separate shower. There's no separate toilet room. It's all combined into one. And so if I needed to, right, I could take a shower while sitting on the toilet, and it may happen one day. It may happen one day because I'm an old man, and so maybe I won't be able to stand up one day, and I'm going to say, wow, putting a CR and a toilet in the same room like this is like magic, right? So, but people in the West, for some reason, I don't know why this is, right? They quite possibly could be people that have never traveled before, especially to Southeast Asia, don't understand that one of the most important things about traveling is understanding and adapting to the culture, right? But instead, they want to critique the way other people live and declare that they would never go to Southeast Asia to live because The shower and the commode, the shower and the toilet are in the same room. So I started. So I mean, I know it's stupid, right? I know it's stupid, but here's the whole thing. I just want to say that I've adapted well to this particular change. I'm used to having a separate shower, a bathtub, and a commode, and they're not in the same room. They're separated. All right, but here's the thing. Another adaptation. I've gotten used to taking a shower using cold water and not hot water. Right? I see nothing wrong with it. I got used to it really, really quickly. I don't see anything wrong with it. It comes like second nature, right? So, but for some reason, a guy on one of the channels that I watch a lot is getting a lot of criticism from people in the West, particularly from the United States, where they're saying, how in the heck can you live in Southeast Asia, in the Philippines, under conditions like that? And why couldn't you at least build a CR the way that they build them in the West? I mean, the whole thing is just flat out ridiculous. Yeah. So now I'm putting in, I'm putting in a centralized hot water heater. It's only like a 25 or a 30 gallon, but I got to tell you that that's more than enough to feed this entire house, because I'm probably the only one who's going to be using it. And I probably won't even be using it that much, because I've gotten so used to now doing it the traditional way. All right. Turn the back room. Yes, Tim, that is the idea. So turn the back room into a storeroom. So when I got to my, I haven't talked to my brother-in-law, about all the things that we could have done differently. But I did tell him, I said, well, one thing you could have done was don't tile anything. He tiled everything back there in beautiful ceramic tile. Looks like the rest of the house for continuity, to show the continuity of it. But listen, it's a step down, right? It steps down, and then it leads to the back door, and then there's a CR that sits right directly over the septic tank, which I don't have a problem with. As a matter of fact, it's kind of comforting to know that if push comes to shove, I could always tear the toilet out and go evacuate the septic system through the hole that's underneath the toilet, right? But if he just would have just left it alone, right? He could have built out the house the way that he wanted to. But if he would have left it alone and just polished the concrete, and sealed it, that would have been perfectly fine with me. I actually didn't have I didn't ask enough questions about this. He gave me the idea, but I did not know that the septic system was there. But then when I went back, but it's my own fault. When I went back and I reviewed, it's not his fault more than it is mine. Let's put it that way. Because when I went back and I reviewed the videos, you could clearly see it there. You could clearly see the manhole access and everything, and then, so my brain, it should have clicked in. I should have said, oh, wait a minute. Would you be building it over that room, over the septic tank? And then he would have said yes. And then I would have said no. It would have been that simple. This is really my fault, Yeah, Dan, some people travel in another country want to eat the same food as they were in from. Yeah, that's right. That's the other thing that I've seen, Larry. I've seen the other thing, right? Where's the McDonald's? Where's the Burger King? Me though, hey, I'm having a great time because I kind of am already used to the food, because I never reject. I don't reject most things that I can think of. There are not many Filipino foods that I don't eat, just the usual stuff, that most people won't eat. Like I don't eat balut. I don't eat dried fish. I don't eat creepy crawly things that are still crawling when they hit my dish. That I definitely don't do. That's because it tickles my throat when I'm eating it, when I'm swallowing it. I don't do any of that stuff, you know. Let's see, I can tell one reason why, sir, in my opinion, CRs that we have built just like that, because we had to minimize the space and the budget too. Exactly. There's going to be always a reason why it has to be done that way. It's always going to be connected to something that has to do with a social economic concern. You always have to look back. If you want to know why people eat the type of food they eat or why they build a building this way and those sorts of things, you have to go back and you have to look at the history of the culture, the historical underpinnings of it. And then you get a better understanding of why things happen this way. And so there you go. It was because, well, another reason, and it's probably part of this this reasoning too, Crystal, is that you don't spend all your entire life in the bathroom. But in the States, they treat the bathroom like it's some kind of spa, an escape from their family and friends. Really? See, I mean, really? Don't bother me. I'm going into the CR to take a poop and a pee and then a nice long bath. I'm gonna play soft, beautiful music while I'm doing it. I'm going to go in there to escape from my family and friends, isolate myself so I don't have to hang around with you folks. I mean, you see, it's really different. It's really, really, that really is a reason why some people from the States do that. So they build their bathrooms like there's some kind of a spa. And so it keeps them, it's sort of like, gives them an excuse to escape their family and friends. In other words, I've got to go do my business. And they go in there and they have what do they call it? Rain showers in there, and they have music piped in and la 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 la. Hi, Chris Lawson vlog. How are you? Oh, by the way, yeah, I know, Crystal. It's funny. Yeah, really, you don't love me if you want to go hide in the CR. If you loved me, you would let me go in there with you. Okay, Terrence. Well, there could be physical reasons why things don't work out so well. You got to take care of yourself. Oh, that's okay. So you're editing a video. Oh, good. Okay. Sammy, thanks for coming here. I was just telling everybody, Nightbot is dropping your link. And so I went in there. I couldn't figure it out. So I added you 2 or 3 more times in there, and now Nightbot, and then changed the frequency at which it drops your link. And now it's working just fine. So I'm glad you're here, because a cool escape, so a perfect spot to think and relax. Yeah, sometimes I just think, and sometimes I just do my business and don't think so much. I mean, it's kind of weird to be talking about it, but gosh darn it, I have to get this off my chest. It is just too weird. By the way, what would you expect from a country like the United States, right? When they announce the COVID, and that we're going into lockdown, or we're doing all these things, what do people do? They run to the local Costco store, right, or the Prime Gold store, whatever you call it, or the Metro Mart, and they load up on toilet paper. We had a situation here where a guy was arrested because he was black marketing rolls of toilet paper. People were like, hey, they were going up to you in downtown. They're going, hey, I got some TP for you. I got some toilet paper, good price, $10 a roll. What the hell? You can't figure out how to clean yourself without toilet paper? And the majority of the world has been doing it for hundreds of thousands of years, as long as there have been human beings on this planet. You cannot figure it out. So listen, one of the greatest inventions, that I think for Southeast Asia, right? I don't know who invented it. I'm going to have to check this out, is the bum gun. I swear by it. It's the most sanitary way that I have ever seen, and the rest of the world should adapt it. But why? Why would you go in and hoard toilet paper? So I have a funny story. So guess what happens? So you have corporate geniuses that are located all over the globe. And they say, "Oh my God, they're buying toilet paper like crazy in the United States. They're just they're creating a toilet paper shortage over there, right? We got to anticipate that there's going to be shortages everywhere all over the world." And so here I am. Here I am in the Philippines, right? I go into a store and it is filled to the rafters, to the roof with toilet paper that nobody is ever going to buy, except maybe somebody from the West, somebody from the United States that was already hoarding it when they were at home, and now they've come over here and they said, "Hey, yeah, you better buy that toilet paper up there." I'm going to tell you something. You get a great deal on toilet paper in this one store that I went into that has toilet paper all the way to the rafters in this one section of their store. I am sure that they would like to make a deal to move this the hell out. But if you really wanted to make money, is that you should have shipped it in a container over to Los Angeles or San Francisco or Oakland, and you would have been done with it. Yeah, you would have been done with it. Now you're stuck with it because some corporate brainiac said you better send containers full of toilet paper to those poor folks in Southeast Asia because they will be hoarding it too. You see how short-sighted people can be, about such things? Yeah. Oh, thanks, Chris. Thanks. We appreciate that. When are you going to come visit us? Come anytime. Oh, that type of music would make me to hurry up. That's right. Crystal's Adventure says hi, Sammy. Oh, I'm hearing the dogs getting restless out back. Yeah, you probably can hear him coming over the mic. And Larry says hi, Sammy. Nightbot, you fired. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. Now that I open my mouth. Oh, there it is. I see it down here, Sammy. So I know that I speaketh the truth. I wasn't lying. Yeah. Pergoling, is that how you say it? That's Sammy. Yeah. Koyu Robert is on his way to doctor's appointment, so he can't be here for sure. Okay. All right. Yeah, I talked to Robert earlier, and he said he wanted to be here, but he said he would try to make it. Okay, you're going. Okay, we're going to Piña soon too. Okay, Chris. Well, that'll be great. When you get here, if you're coming our way, let us know. If you're going to Cebu, let us know. Manila, hey, we'll meet another time. No, actually, we have relatives in Manila and Pampanga, and that we just saw on our way down, on our journey down, and it was nice. It was very, very lovely. I like Manila. I like certain parts of it. Sammy, let Robert know that we are praying for him. Absolutely. Please let's see what you were on. See, oh, he said, Larry, please release me songs suit you. Yeah, what are the songs that suit you? Yeah, the bum gun. Yes, the greatest invention ever known to man, as far as I'm concerned. I love that thing. I love it. You can do a million things with a bum gun. Most of them I cannot talk about on this channel. Use your own imagination. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Oh, Chrissy Mama, how are you? I haven't seen you in such a long time. Where have you been? Probably doing successful live streams. That's my guess. Hi, Chrissy Mama. I sure miss you. Of course, one thing, you've probably been really busy. You've probably really been really busy with the kids, right? Pardon, sir, back in a minute. Oh, yeah. So you have to head out. Take advantage. Take advantage. Yeah. I probably have caused a lot of people in talking about it to have to leave and relieve themselves. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. See, she's backing up my story. She is backing up my story. See, we were in the Philippines when COVID first hit. Tons of toilet paper in the store. Nobody buys them except us. Thank you for backing up my story, Chris. Chris, I truly appreciate it. I was there. I saw it. It's still there in some stores. Oh yeah, I have the whole house to relax and think. You don't have to go to the CR in order to do that. Well, you're one lucky guy, Tim. And by the way, I really enjoyed our meeting and appreciate how generous of a guy that you are. And there's Peter of Barbaria. Toilet paper wars, best April Fools ever. Wish I thought of it. Yes, the best April Fools ever. Toilet paper rolls. Hey, Peter, by the way, thank you so much. Hey, Peter. So, uh, gosh, Mel and Des. I met Mel and Des. I think that Mel put something up online showing our meeting at the Dunkin', when they were coming into town. They had business shopping to do. And man, I appreciate Mel and Des so much for Mel was one of like the first people to promote the channel. Mel and Sammy, I believe. Yeah. They were the first people to latch on and said, "Oh man, this American guy over here is pathetic. We need to do something to help him out." And so Mel isn't, I don't think Mel's here tonight. I think she's probably doing a live stream, but uh, we got a chance to meet her and spend some time with her and Des, and it was a lot of fun. And so we'll be seeing more Mel. Of course, we're going to have a little get-togethers at the house pretty soon. Yeah. Oh yeah, the electric. We were talking, Peter. I know you're off grid. We were talking about what's the move going to be for us, and I'm afraid that that solar is the answer. I'm not enthused about it. Yeah. So the electric bills are going crazy. I put AC in, and then now I'm thinking about how much I'm gonna regret it. And I've already got to get started mitigating it by putting together a solar system. But anyway, oh well. Yeah. So it seems like right now I'm just chasing my tail around, trying to. It's almost like, okay, you just got here. The majority of the expenditures and things like that are going to be in the front end of the journey, not the tail end. But I think they get you both coming and going. So I've been watching like money fly out of my hands so quickly, and I've realized that the little budget that I came up with isn't very realistic. For expenses have gone crazy here in the Philippines, even here in the province. Things are very, very expensive. It shocked me how expensive stuff is. You'll pay the same price or more for a chicken, for a dozen eggs, for all the staples. All the staples, including rice, are very, very expensive here. They've gone crazy since 2019. All the expats are talking about it, and I have to adjust the budget accordingly. And so we will do that. As a matter of fact, my wife, Minnie, and I, we have to sit down. We have to go over these numbers. I have a projected budget, a revised budget, I should say, in my head, based on what I've seen so far. It's probably, it's for sure 600 was very, very unrealistic, and it's more like somewhere between $800 and $1,000 per month. And so we're not talking about just providing for ourselves. We have family members. Listen, it's the Philippines, and part of the culture is that you have to take care of those close family members also. And so I'm happy to do it. We're happy to do it. And so that means, but when you think about it, if it were just you, if you're just doing it for yourself, I don't think you would have any problem whatsoever getting things done for that, $600 budget. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about, close family members that are currently living under this roof of this house, and have been for the past year. Price had gone crazy, especially when COVID hit. Yeah. And so I don't know what to do. I don't think anything is going to be slowing down anytime soon. And also material costs. And so we're lucky that we got the majority of the house all taken care of and dealt with and built prior to coming over here, because things have been crazy in terms of material costs: angle iron, rebar, concrete block, hollow block, cement, finishing cement, anything, you name it, electrical wire. Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe how much I had to pay in electrical wire, number 12, to get those new outlets running. It was absolutely crazy. So yes, as Peter points out, it's worldwide. Dan, the prices are going up. Find a way to supplement it with homegrown food as much as you can. And we have. And so we do have gardens started all over the place. So wherever a neighbor has said we could put a lot, as long as we share a little bit with them, that's what we've been doing. That's what the father-in-law has been doing. And so he's out there every morning, out there growing, setting up gardens, harvesting, sharing with the neighbors, and then bringing the harvest home for us to take advantage of. I know a pathetic man that needs help. Yeah, who would that be, Tim? How many guesses do I need? Yeah. So that's so far what's been going on. I got a whole bunch of videos in the can, and then we'll be sharing them with you. I'll be figuring out how the monetization works. I've been really, really busy, and so I haven't had a chance to even take a look to see what I need to do. Over here at the house, the normal bill has been running about 10,000 pesos per month. I mean, it's gone up. So when we first started, about two or 3 years ago, I guess it's been about 3 years ago. So we've been providing, we've been paying the bills for either a rental house, the electrical. And so it started out being very, very reasonable. And so I didn't get excited when I said, don't worry about inverter, anything, don't worry about an inverter, refrigerator, inverter, air conditioner, just put in the regular step like they sell here in the States, half horsepower this, 1 horsepower that. But that was prior to the COVID, right? And so we were paying like $45 or $50 a month for electrical bill. Well, now the dang thing is running somewhere between $8,000 and $10,000 a month, and we just put in that 2.5 horsepower split inverter, and we know that it's going to probably increase the electric bill by another $50 to $75 per month. So it won't be long before the thing is up there to about, $250 to $300 a month. So the relatives are saying, just shut everything off. And I can't do it. Expats are telling me shut everything off. That's what they're doing, but I cannot do it. That's one of those creature comforts, is to be able to come in from the terrace and into the nice, cool home. Kuya Tim, I did, is what Sammy said. And I was referring to me, LOL. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if I call back because I'm ready to go to bed. He. Oh, okay. I don't know if he will call back. Let's see, where are we? I'm losing my way. Larry is laughing. Yeah, the whole thing is a little bit comical. More people need to grow food, not grass. Can't eat cement either. Yeah, and what do you know? You have some of the most fertile soil in the world in a place I just transplanted myself from, which is Sacramento, at the convergence of the Sacramento and the American River. It formed this beautiful, vast, mineral-rich alluvial plain that was perfect for growing anything that your heart desired, but especially citrus fruits. And they build homes everywhere and concrete buildings right on top of the most fertile soil. I mean, the most fertile in the world other than the Amazon Valley. And then I come over to the Philippines, and what do I find? They're doing the same exact thing. They're doing exactly the same thing. We have the most rich, fertile, volcanic soil. Go in and look it up, and you're going to see this area that we transplanted to, Baybay City, Leyte. Go take a look at the soil sample. Go take a look at the soil reports, and you're going to see some amazing stuff. Okay, Sammy. Salamat. So all I do is, what do you expect from human beings that, want to go out there and they want to hoard toilet paper when they have a crisis that they don't even understand, when they have a thing like the what just struck the world, what we just went through, and we'll probably be going through it again. Because remember, how you control populations of people is through fear. And so, you got to come up with scary stuff now and again, in order to get people to do what you want them to do. I mean, that's just a fact. That's a historical fact. You go in the history book, start reading, you'll see this thing happening over and over and over again. Understand what's going on, and before you go out there and buy a truckload of toilet paper next time. Yeah. Ask yourself the important question: is there a way for me to wipe my behind without having to go out and buy a truckload of toilet paper to do it? She's been unloading and organizing Balikbayan boxes. This whole room in here, I mean, it's starting to look like we're able to have room to sleep, right? It's starting to come together. But this whole thing was stacked to the ceiling with Balikbayan boxes. The room really isn't that big. I mean, it's large in terms of regular Filipino, what you'd find in a regular house here in the Philippines. Maybe not in your house, Sammy, because we know how wealthy you are. So you probably have a big, huge bedroom with its own CR and stuff like that. This is I would say an average size room in an American house that has a Filipino CR in it. That we've been talking about how it has the combination shower and toilet inside here. But it was stacked to the ceiling, not with toilet paper, but with Balikbayan boxes. And I mean, my wife has been very, very good. Minnie has been great about organizing everything. She knows it's sort of like going to what are those stores here in the Philippines? Can I have a toothpaste, please? And then she knows exactly where to go and get it. Hey, you know what shocked her? We were in I think Prince Mall today, and on the shelf was the green soap. What's the name of the green soap? Hun, what's the name of the green soap? And that's on the shelf, right? And she brought bars and bars of that soap. She says, "Oh, people love this soap, the green soap, the antibacterial soap." And then she said, "Well," then she also brought over Pepsodent, right? And what do we see on the shelves in Prince Mall? Pepsodent and the green soap. Yeah, it isn't a necessity. It shouldn't be a necessity for most people, Crystal. Don't get me excited. Crystal, talking about this, please. Let's see. I blame Queen Victoria starting the manicure of the lawn. Oh, yeah. Forget about growing lawn. Grow food in your front lawn. I believe Sacramento has just passed an ordinance now where it's okay to grow food in the front of your house. So prior to that, they had a city ordinance that said you could not do it. Really? I can't feed myself? Man, people have lost their minds in the world and in some places around the world. My electric bill did double last year, says Tim. I do have an inverter, aircon, and refrigerator. Well, we do too around here. I found that out when I burned myself on the outside of the refrigerator, and I go, what the hell is this? Is this thing broken? And then I realized that, how you get, the cold, you separate the cold molecules from the hot ones, and so the heat is rejected, and then boom, you get that's an inverter refrigerator, right? I'm so happy for you. Me, I don't have a room yet. Yeah, that's because you keep letting your entire family live in your room. That's why. The one that was supposed to be yours, because that's the nice person, the nice type of people that you are. See? So, all I could say is keep helping people, and people will keep helping you. Chris, I need to learn how to use a bum gun. Oh, listen, this is wonderful. You got to have one of these. They're selling them at Home Depot now, Larry. You got to go buy one. They're easy to install because it's just like a little T fitting, and you just hook it. You just take your little thing off for your toilet. Don't forget to turn off the water, by the way. The little valve, and you replace it with one that comes up that's got a little T fitting on it, and then you run you connect your bum gun to that. Yeah, Tim is in. I can answer that, Tim. Tim is in Pampanga. Yeah, we were fortunate enough. Minnie and I were fortunate enough to share breakfast with him one morning, and at a place where a couple of YouTube superstars were hanging out. But I had to hold Minnie back. Don't go jumping out of the chair like there's some kind of, my wife, she surprised me. I didn't think that she was starstruck, right? But she saw a couple of YouTubers. One of them was having breakfast next to us, right? And I had to hold Minnie back, like, no, don't. It's embarrassing for me. But hey, in Manila, it was a lot of fun. In Manila, we were with Pinky Gray, and people kept looking, doing double takes. No one ever came up to Pinky Gray and, said to her, hey, are you Pinky Gray? Because she looks a little bit different in person than she does on her YouTube channel, right? But I saw people doing this, and a couple of times I even saw them looking at me the same way. And I was like, wow, this is weird. We were in Shakey's Piece or something. People were like, hey, they look familiar. They look familiar. Well, this happened when we were having breakfast in Pampanga also. Real estate's limited worldwide. It's either a good time or a bad time to get in the real estate business. Oh, thank you, Dodger Blue. You know what? Strange thing happened on the way to Baybay City. I started feeling this stress start to leave my body. It just started evaporating. It's a really, really strange thing. It happened like almost overnight. I'm going to have to do a YouTube video on that. I don't know why now, why now? Maybe I was stressed because, I don't know, maybe I was stressed about coming here and finding a God, I don't know what, right? But the stress started to leave me once we were on the way. Once we were on the overnight ferry on the Lapu-Lapu, you guys can look up that ferry coming straight to practically our front door. All the stress just started to leave me. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Larry Lee, sir. Yeah, you just have to aim it to your butt and poof, that's it. Yeah, that's right. You're all done. You don't have to. Is it not true, Crystal? You don't even have to have great aim, right? Using a bum gun. Just get in the neighborhood and everything's going to work out just fine. Larry says hi, Dodger Blue. I hope all is well, Dodger. Let's see. Tim says live in Angeles City area after moving to the Philippines from Texas. But how many years have you been living there, Tim? That's the real story. How many years have you been living there? Let's see. I love the Philippines to repurpose toilet paper for tissues. Yeah. And so you there's also a funny story that I have to share with you about that, Peter. So I go in their CR, right? And I'm washing my hands. I'm looking around. I'm going, oh, how in the hell? I'm in the mall, right? How in the hell am I supposed to dry my hands? And I see this huge roll of toilet paper by one of the big toilet paper manufacturers that if I mention them, you know them. Right. Maybe it's Kimberly Clark, but I probably shouldn't name them. But anyway, they have one of their toilet paper rolls on the wall right there by the sink. And I go, is that it? And I start, pulling toilet paper down and I break off some. And then I start drying my hands with it and the stuff falls apart. Right. I've got toilet paper hands, and I had to get that stuff off my hand and I washed my hands again. And then I had to air dry by just kind of doing this, So yeah, it is pretty funny. We love you, Sammy. We love you. I'm glad Nightbot loves you now. Yeah. Oh, you're going to build the room soon. Yeah. But I know you're not living in a tent, Oh, you're probably living on the kitchen table because of all those food videos, all the cooking videos you've done. Yeah, that's it. I figured it out. Okay. Yeah, Tim loves it. And I think Tim looks like a pretty settled guy. That's about all I could say about Tim. He's very settled, speaks in a very matter-of-factly tone of voice, very calm, collective, thinks things through before he speaks, very much unlike me. Let's see. Crystal, a bum gun is not available in places that I go. We have to bring it with you. You just like, yeah. There used to be somebody on the radio who used to talk about this. I can't remember. It was a doctor, and he was talking about how important it was, this ideology that we get away from using toilet paper and we go to doing it the way they do in Southeast Asia. And I can't remember what his name was. No, yes, I can. It just came to me. It was Dr. Dean Adele. I don't know if he's doing radio anymore. He's probably in his late mid 70s or 80s. But he used to advocate that. It's too expensive, to use. So there's the other cultural thing that Crystal's pointing out. Very, very important. And that is that, listen, if you have money for toilet paper, you have money for food. And so if you have to allocate a budget, towards one or the other, what are you going to do? Well, we know what people in the United States are going to do. Obviously, they're going to eat the toilet paper. All you have to do is put a little ketchup and salt on it. It makes for a mighty tasty meal. And a few thousand trees or 100,000 trees will die. But yeah, and so Crystal knows. So it's amazing to me, how insightful Crystal is, but she's delivering the message straight, and that is that how ridiculous it is, when you have to choose between toilet paper and food. And I think that Peter Barbera is kind of also pointing that out, how ridiculous it is that we would take all this fertile land and grow grass, not that kind of grass, although that's important too, I suppose, to some people. But also when we could be growing food on it. Oh, look at how we have such a beautiful lawn and such a beautiful flower garden. You don't tell them. Just add it. And then when you move, you take it out. I know in your lease it says you got to notify us when you change stuff. Just forget about it. Put one in. Be non-compliant, Larry. Thank you, Tim. It's Irish Spring Soap, and it's in Prince Mall. It's in the store. My wife was shocked. You mean I spent all this money on Irish Spring Soap and I was going to be some kind of hero? And now I come in here and I find out they got everything. They got Pepsodent, Irish Spring Soap. And I was thinking to myself, I mean, she bought it from Costco in cases. You know, something that's pretty funny to me because she had to spend money to get it over here in those Baybay City boxes. That was not an inexpensive deal. That cost a lot of money. Oh, by the way, I want to show you one of my foolish things. So I've got. You guys remember this? I said I was going to buy it, so I got that. I probably showed it already on live stream. This is the Avon Skin So Soft for mosquitoes, and this is a baby off. So this was expensive. This was in Prince Mall. I had to pick it up today because this ain't working so well. I'm getting bit by mosquitoes like crazy. This, I'm hoping will do a better job, but it says for babies. So my wife, this is all they had. So my wife says, that's for babies. I said, well, if it works for babies, it's going to work for adults. I don't know what the difference is. You know, I don't know. But if anybody's got any DEET, you know, it's illegal in the States. But if anybody else in the world is able to get some DEET, send it to me. You know, I appreciate it. I don't mind dying of cancer in 20 years. I'm probably not going to be here anyway. And Larry Dodger Blue says hello. Of course, it's Dodger Blue. And Crystal saying, Tim, love the scent of that soap, but so expensive too. Yeah. And so is the Pepsodent. So it's very inexpensive in the States. So that's one saving grace is my wife was going to give it away for free. Crystal, send me your address. I'll send you a bar. I'll deliver it to you personally when we're in your neck of the woods. That's a promise. I always live up to my promises sooner or later. I believe I do anyway. Hey, Dan, are you guys in the Philippines down for good? Well, yes. I got the Balik Bayan privilege stamp in my passport. I'm good to go for a year, but started thinking about it. Things have to flow really smoothly, Chris, for us not to have to go back to the States around tax time. So that means I get all my taxes are a pain in the ass in the Philippines and the United States. They're probably a pain in the butt here too in the Philippines. But I started worrying about, oh man, you know, things have to go very, very smoothly. So I have a post office box in the United States. My kid empties it out once a week. So far, only a couple of important pieces of information have come through. But when tax time comes, all these forms start showing up at your doorstep, and he's going to have to photograph them and send them to me so that I could file my taxes electronically online. But if things don't go smoothly, then Minnie and I are going to have to hightail it back to the States for maybe a month. But yeah, the idea is to stay here permanently from now on. Okay, so Larry's Dodger Blue, I'm here at work just goofing off. Thanks a lot, Larry. No, I'm just kidding. I'm goofing off by watching Dan's channel. Yeah, so I hope we don't have to return back to the States. I'd rather not go back for 3 years. But then again, you know, I miss people. You know, I miss grandkids, mom's still with us. I would miss certain people. Yeah. Dodger Blue, what does the doctor say about your health? Yeah, well, you've been kind of quiet about that lately, Dodger. Do fill us in if you care to. Crystal says, Dodger Blue, hi. Hey, she put a heart there, like, love you, baby. Dodger says, Larry, you may be goofing off, but you're still being more productive than I am. Hey, retirement is a good thing there, Dodger Blue. I'm on your team when it comes to retirement. How do you like the way I did that? You know, I'm on your team. Hey, not a Dodger fan these days, but I certainly was in the Lasorda era, but maybe that doesn't make me a fan. They say once Dodger Blue, always Dodger Blue. I'm sure that's true. Dan, you know how to use that hand of yours as toilet paper. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, as the brother, we were discussing this today with the brother-in-law. He was saying, you know, what is the big deal? I mean, even if you use your hand, what's the difference in you soaping up your body and taking a shower as opposed to the one action where you're cleaning yourself after doing your business? I said that's a fairly valid point, I would say. Most people just simply don't like to think about it. They don't like, for example, I got one time I was building an addition to a home, and I said to somebody, "Oh, I'm thinking about putting a composting toilet in." Everybody said, "What? A composting toilet? What, are you crazy? You have to do this, you have to do that. It's disgusting." I don't know why people think that way. What's so disgusting about you? It's your body, it's your waste product. It's what's disgusting about it? Tim says, I'm working part-time construction now, building calluses on my butt. And I bet you they're fine calluses, Tim. I bet you're very, very good at what you do. Well, it feels okay. It's such a it feels okay, but it's also bizarre at the same time. Can you imagine, that, I mean, you probably are having the same feeling. You're sitting there and, that first check comes, you kind of, or like, it hits the bank because they do direct deposit, right? So it hits the bank account. You kind of go, holy crap, I didn't have to work I worked for this, but I didn't have to work for this. It's a weird feeling. Start going, man, they're paying me to stay home. They're like, Dan, go, you've done your duty, you've worked your entire life, go home and collect up your money. And yet, it's a funny feeling. I kind of feel like, man, I should be doing something for this money other than building calluses on my butt. Yeah, Crystal says you're a big boss. Then that's hilarious. That's funny. You're funny, Crystal. That is so funny. Yes, you're the foreman in my mind. Yeah, well, you'll be in the you'll be retired soon, a year or two, whenever you decide to hang them up, and then you'll be part of the retirement cohort group. Tim says mosquitoes don't bite me. They don't like type A blood. Yeah, but don't they have to bite you in order to find out that you're type A? And then they go, they spit it out, and they roll over and they die. They have to get at least one bite in, right? Oh man, I don't know how to handle this. Oh, Nightbot, thank you so much for dropping Sammy's link and not making me into a liar. Okay, so Dodger Blues phone us. He said surgery was tough, 5 hours on the table, but recovery has been awesome. No abdominal pain discomfort anymore. I feel good. I've dropped from 264 to 225. Wow, but I'm back on solid food. Wow, that's tremendous. That's fantastic. We're so happy to hear that everything is going so well. Larry says just carry a bottle of hand sanitizer for cleaning your hands afterwards. Yeah. And I guess wipies, right? If you're I guess if you're going to go crazy over, if you're going to get all icky, thinking it's icky to use a bum gun or wipe your bottom with your hand, I suppose you carry those wipies around, but don't put them down the commode. It'll mess it up. Don't put biodegradable paper down the commode, don't do it. Crystal says that she's happy you're doing well. 2 more weeks and he can start working out. That's fantastic. Dang, I'm jealous. 225, man. Choosy mosquitoes, that's right. They're going to spit out your blood. Blah, I hate that. Blah. Dodger, thank you, Larry and Crystal. Peter says the only way I'm going out to pastures to grow more food, never ever going to retire. Yeah, well, uh, if you're living, if you're out there and you're living off grid, you're going to have to figure out ways to sustain yourself. And I have always thought that this is the same as working for money, 9 to 5. I mean, what happened in, what do the kids call it? Olden days. In the olden days, life was not so complicated. You went out there, you grew food, you traded with your neighbor, whatever skills you had, you shared, you bartered for things that you needed, and life was grand. And so what happened? What happened to us? How do we turn into this? How is it that we ended up as human beings monetizing everything? Yeah, they have flushable wipes. In the Philippines, they don't want you to flush anything down there because they're on a septic system. Most places, very, very few places other than the actual areas like, where the rich and famous live of Makati or different places in Cebu, they have water treatment facilities and freshwater plants. Subic Bay, I believe, has one on base. Males don't bite. Okay, so all I have to do is figure out which ones are the men, and I'll be fine. Please take the time and connect to Larry's channel, who changed his channel name from Lazy Larry to Lazy Larry Lee, because when you go search for Lazy Larry, you get a cartoon. And by the way, speaking of cartoons, I don't think you can see it, but I'm wearing you'll have to take my word for it. I'm wearing my Felix the Cat shirt that my mom gave me a few years ago for my birthday, and I'm just barely able to fit into it now. So I'm doing okay in terms of, I'm gaining weight probably like crazy right now. I've been eating anything and everything, and I haven't been watching my diet whatsoever, because as promised, I said that now that I'm retired, I probably will become an alcoholic, just like several expats that I know. But anyway, because I've deprived myself up until now, and so now I'm going to let everything out. Stomach included, but no, that isn't true. That isn't true. I've been just on the road. It's just very, very difficult to keep to a diet, Yeah, I know. Thank you so much, Crystal. But you know something? It's so weird to. It's such an interesting thing trying to explain to somebody, in the Philippines how you don't have to work anymore, since they don't have such a thing they don't have retirement unless you're a civil servant here in the Philippines. Private companies don't offer you retirement benefits. They may have a program where they set a little bit of money aside for you, something like that, for later on in life when they kick you out the door. But there's nothing like retirement the way that it exists in the West. And so it's kind of hard. Well, so it's kind of hard to explain to somebody how the whole thing works. And then when I do explain it to people, I realize what a stupid system we have in the United States. Because the amount of money that I'm getting every month, it's really insane. I mean, it's ridiculous. So, I mean, of course, I was a government employee in the States, and so I don't think that it's going to last for another generation. I don't think so. I think they're getting rid of all that. So Peter says, I got rid of my house and business to get out of the city life. Crap, I'm living Green Acres, even have Hooterville for a local town, love the life. And I'm telling you, and that's what, Peter, That's what the Philippines reminds me of. It's kind of like going back 50 years in time, from where I grew up. It reminds me of the time that I grew up in. And so that's why I love it so much here. But it's westernizing so fast that my head is spinning around like a top. I mean, once you start getting Western, stuff in here like McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts and Shakey's Pizza and all that stuff, then once you start importing that Western culture, because people do want it, they do want some of that Western culture, then it seems as though the simplicity of life is challenged. Let's put it that way. They don't like type A positive. Oh, they sniff you out. I gotcha. All right. So I'm B, or O positive or whatever it is. And so the most common. And so they love me. Hey, Merns, how are you? Thank you for coming. I appreciate it. Merns, another valued supporter of the channel. Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's see, Dr. Blue. Hi, Tim. My wife would disagree. She has A positive and they eat her alive. They don't bite me and I'm A positive. There must be something else going on. Crystal's Adventures. Correct, sir. Others don't know what does that mean here in the Philippines. We don't have retirement. Yeah. And so how do you go and explain it, to somebody, even if you try to explain it, they don't listen. They don't really listen to what you have to say, because all they really know is that you have more money than they do, and they're working their ass off in order to put food on the table on a daily basis. And so maybe the answer for me is when somebody, tries to engage me in conversation about where the money comes from and stuff like that. Excuse me. Maybe I just should avoid the conversation, because quite frankly, it just puzzles me how the whole thing works. Oh, positive. You and me both, Larry. So the mosquitoes love us. What are we going to do? You're going to use this. Avon. Skin so soft. Remember this? Yeah. Doesn't work. No, it doesn't work for me. Me too. Oh, positive. Yeah. So the whole pension thing, it's awkward. It's awkward. It's bizarre. But hey, I do we've been on the air, what? 2 hours almost. Okay. So I got to get this story out. Retirement is a good thing. I look to start enjoying it more. Well, you will. Not you're listen, we all, Dodger Blues, everybody knows. Most of us that are on this planet, we're going to have 1, 2, or even 3 life-changing experiences or medical emergencies that are going to require care in our lifetime. And I've had a couple. I've had more than my share. And so it's part of this life cycle, but you certainly couldn't enjoy retirement until you get all that stuff squared away. Yeah. Oh, we did not meet here in Cebu. Yeah, that's right. We did not. But Cebu is going to be my second home, so we will. So, by the way, I hung around the area of the, what's the name of the hotel? Why is it I can't think of stuff when I need to grab it? What was the name of the hotel down there in Cebu City? The Lex Hotel. The Lex Hotel. And there were other YouTubers staying there, and I found that to be remarkable. But I like hanging around IT Park and Ayala and Bo's Coffee Shop at the main entrance to Ayala Mall or Ayala Center Mall or whatever they call it. And so I'll be there. I'll be there in a few months, and then we'll be able to hook up, I hope. No, not hook up in a biblical way. I am a married man, but oh, that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about this story. So I got to get this out. Right? There's still 7 of you here that are hanging in here with me. Not the same 7 I started with, but anyway. All right. So here's what happened. So here in since we get here in Baybay City, right, in Baybay City, Leyte, and they realize that there's a new Westerner in town. The mommies start parading their daughters around the Dunkin' Donuts. And so the first couple of days that we were here, because remember I had told you guys I was going to be spending my time around the Dunkin' Donuts, right? And so I headed there straight away after getting here. The first thing I did was head over to the Dunkin' Donuts to see who was hanging around. And of course, there are a lot of expats that are in Baybay City, Leyte, more than there probably should be. There's a lot of us. So anyway, I'm sitting there, and then after a couple of days, right, I started noticing that the moms were parading their daughters around the Dunkin' Donuts. At first, I thought it was my imagination, right? So, but then I pointed it out to the other guys, some of my friends that are there. I said, check this out. And so sure enough, they look and they see that the moms of these young women, anywhere between the ages of 17, I would say, and, on up to 25 or 30, they're coming around the Dunkin' Donuts, which if you know Baybay City and Prince Mall, it's on a corner. And so you get a couple of shots. And I always face the window, quite frankly, so I could see some of the pretty women go by. But anyway, my wife's sitting there. She's looking at me like, all right. Okay, old man, get it out of your system. But anyway, so my wife is very tolerant of my behavior. So they go around the corner and I see the elbowing, the mom said, there he is. And then they're looking in the window, right? But as soon as they discover that Minnie is there with me, then all of a sudden the look on their faces change, like, oh, he's taken, not available. Oh my God, I thought it was hilarious. Hilarious. Oh yeah. Oh yes, nice on y'all, but me, and when I'm in there, I will lose. Yes. Yes. I can't argue every person I've met that is so positive, generally kind. Whoa. That's nice. Nice to hear that. Yeah. So this has gone on for like a week or so that I've been here, a week and a half or so. A new young lady will be coming around, and so I don't know. Where's my mask? Okay, so here's what I see. Right. So they're still wearing masks in Baybay City. I don't know if it's mandatory or not, but I just go with the flow. Let's see, I've got a mask here. I want to show you what I've seen. Maybe somebody inside the group here in the chat will tell me what's going on. All right, so this is what I'm seeing. So here comes a young lady around the corner with their mom. All right. And then this starts happening. They look at me and they do this. Like they're sending me Morse code signals with their eyes, like this. Right? And so then my wife, she's like, don't wink back. Don't look that direction. Don't wink back. Why, honey? Why? They look like they're trying to get my attention. Yeah, I met Des and Melanie at the Dunkin', the very Dunkin' that I'm telling the story about right now. That's why we get along, because we have the same blood type that Crystal has. That's how it all starts. That's how relationships all start, Crystal. Take it from me. Take it from me. I've seen it time and time again. So, soldier, what's your blood type? What's your sign? Yeah, it's the mustache. These poor women over there can't resist it. You cruel heartbreaker. Yeah. So, hey, my wife is a really, really good sport about it. Usually she's off shopping, for things that we need. Since we just got here, she's running around she has her list every day that she's making up. Oh, we need this, we need that, blah, blah, blah. And then she takes off and goes and gets that. So I'm sitting there with the guys. I just point out, look, it's happening again. First, they thought that that I was just crazy, which I am. But then they said, "Oh yeah, we see it." Let's see here. If you do nasty thing with your wife, if we do have a joke that goes outside Colombo, ma'am. The meaning of it later, sir. Yeah, message me on that. So anyway, the guys tell me that they've gone through it before, but that it'll slow down after a week or two. But there's always going to be somebody new that's going to be hanging around, and that somebody will even try and make that move, by coming in there and sitting down and then saying something like, "Can I join you?" Right, something like that. Well, I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but anyway, that's what I've been noticing. And Crystal says, "Oh, it's a dragon look, sir. I can use if you want to." They want to devour you alive. That's what it is, huh? Well, thanks for clearing that up. Let's see what Tim has to say. Oh, my girlfriend likes my mustache and beard. Is that what it is? So I don't know. Are they getting used to seeing Westerners with facial hair? So because I'm not quite used to seeing Filipinas with tattoos, but I noticed Mel has a couple, and a few other people that I met, they have a couple of tattoos. I guess it's not such a big thing. So years ago, when a friend started getting tattoos, a friend's daughter started getting tattoos, I was like appalled. I would tell him, "Hey, you're going to allow her to go out there like that and get tatted up like that?" And he would say to me, "Calm down, Dan, calm down. It's times are changing. It's not like it used to be. They don't look at young women with tattoos as being whatever, you know what I mean? People hire them to do work and stuff like that." So anyway, things are changing. So maybe the facial hair, I guess I'm trying to compare it to young ladies in the Philippines going and getting tattoos, little bunny rabbits hopping, through tattooed on their left butt cheek, something like that. I don't know what women are doing, getting tattoos or where they're getting them, but it's intriguing to me because I've never seen, the last time that I was in the Philippines, I didn't see anything like that. I never even saw one. So I didn't look very hard for them, but it just kind of like this trip, coming here to Baybay City, even a small town like this, you start seeing the tats all over on the neck, on the arms, legs, and stuff like that. And it's kind of interesting. But I had said earlier that the importing of Western culture is to the Philippines is in full swing, and people want it. Obviously, if they didn't want it, they wouldn't be lining up to go into McDonald's. They wouldn't be hanging around at the Shakey's Pizza. They wouldn't be going into Dunkin' Donuts. And I'll tell you, I see way more Filipinos going into the Dunkin' Donuts getting coffee and donuts than I do expats or any other Westerners. That tells me that there is an emerging middle class, that people in the Philippines some kind of way are gaining wealth. I'm not sure it's through OFWs or not. I'm not sure, but it's happening. Obviously something is happening. Something is changing. I'm noticing it. And, I just share it with you. Crystal, no, just like my avatar. And Dodger Blue says, "I'm too traditional for tattoos. I am of the age that I'm accumulating scars." There you go. Scar makes a pretty good tattoo. I would say it also tells a story, right? So I think that's what tattoos do to a certain degree. It's telling a story about an event, or it's a remembrance of an event. And certainly we've got that going on as we age, right, Dodger Blue? I would say so. So yeah, so Mertz, I don't know if you're still with us or not. I was going to say that I remember certain things about Ayala also, especially that Bo's coffee shop. So it used to be that the expats would gather there at the entrance to Ayala. The Bo's coffee shop was right there in your view. Yeah, of course, they have a lot of Bo's coffee shops in Ayala, not just one. I'm not even sure the one that I'm thinking about is even there anymore, but the one I was sitting at in Ayala this last time around was um, was near one of the main entrances. It was the only one that I found that was near a main entrance. So I couldn't recall if that's the one that I used to hang out at in my single days, but it would not be unusual back in the olden days. I'm talking 20 years ago, maybe, that a woman would come up to you, a Filipino would come up to you and introduce herself and ask to join you and share a cup of coffee with you. But on this trip, even though my wife left me by myself to fend for myself while she was shopping, I didn't notice so much as anybody trying to even steal a glance in my direction, nor were there any expats or Westerners sitting there other than myself. And so I know through observation that things have changed. Oh, yeah. So Tim and I talked about this. We did when we met. And so I kind of wanted to bring it up. But since you brought it up, you get in trouble for bringing it up. And that is that many people in the Philippines are gaining wealth, but also weight. And that comes with the territory. And so the question is Westernization directly related to weight gain? That's the question. I mean, is there a causal relationship? Sorry for being such a social scientist and composing that question. Or is it that urbanization is the causal relationship between folks in the Philippines gaining weight? In other words, as you urbanize, then other changes occur, and maybe there's not a direct causal relationship, but it's a byproduct of urbanization. So, that's something to think about, and something that, if you're curious about, to go look up to see. My hubby had lots of tattoos. I told him it's not good for him. It's not too late for him to want it to be removed. What, does he have one that bothers you, or does he have many that bother you? And what's the reason for wanting him to remove them? That's the question. So, and of course, she's going, aha, but are you agreeing with them, or are you saying, no, that's not taking place? And please, I don't want to ask anyone how much they weigh. Save me from myself. Either volunteer it or don't say anything about it. But, oh, so Crystal believes that wealth and weight come as a package deal. So, so Peter's saying take the wedding ring off, Dan, to see if there's a difference. See if it's like the olden days, huh, Peter? I suppose if I were on the hunt, I might try that. And Tim is saying too many McDonald's, Burger Kings, and Jollibee, and that's kind of what I think it's all about. Just that you have more wealth and you have more direct access to these things. And so, I mean, I've never seen a more packed McDonald's in my entire life than the one that's on MacArthur near Walking Street in Pampanga. I mean, that thing was just packed. And people were eating food. I'm talking about Big Macs. I mean, I'm talking about ice cream sundaes. I'm talking about the whole thing. Yeah. Chris, I would only remove one of my tats, but the other tat I would keep. Okay, so something is important to you there. So the whole thing is, and by the way, is there any relationship between that and the Pepsi Cola and the Coca-Cola shortage? If anybody knows what the heck is going on that way in the Philippines right now, I truly would appreciate it, because there definitely is a shortage of those soft drinks. I have no idea what's going on. And also, you know, people are having trouble even finding the diet stuff, Coke Zero and Pepsi, their diet brand. Tim says my weight has not changed more than 10 pounds since 1987. Good for you, Tim. You look like you're in really good shape to me. So, anyway, yeah, I don't understand the soda shortage in the Philippines. But Tim, also if you're not a soda fanatic, if you're not drinking a Coke a day or a Pepsi a day, you may not know that this shortage is actually occurring in the Philippines. So there you go. She said, Crystal says that true fast foods attract more people these days, but that has to be because people have more money to spend on it. Where's the money coming from? Oh, we meet with V's. Oh, really? In Vegas in Ayala Cafe Laguna. That was my second time in Ayala Mall. You know what? I apologize, Merge, for not knowing that. Of course, I know who she is. And I know how generous of a person she is. And wow, so you were there. You were in Ayala Cafe in Laguna, and that was the second time in Ayala Mall. Wow, so you would get lost there. It's so big. So I didn't know. I didn't know that. I honestly, if I were paying attention to everybody's channel, I probably would have known that this event took place. But were you the grand prize winner of one of her contests? Just kind of curious about that. And again, I apologize for not keeping up with everything. Oh yeah, it is getting kind of late. What time is it anyway? I think this is probably. Oh man, we've been going a while, and it's past my own bedtime. Oh yeah, it's huge. It's a huge mall. It tired me out so fast. Tim, you take care of yourself. We appreciate you being here. Oh, it was Sheila Reese that won 15K, and I probably saw that. on Facebook, a Facebook post. here's Dr. Blue. You're hilarious. I have a case of Sprite Zero that I would gladly give you, Dan. No, thank you. No, thank you. Donate it to science. Donate it to the homeless shelter. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, I knew something was going on, Mertz, only because I'm passing through stuff really fast, trying to keep up with what's going on Facebook and YouTube. And as you know, I don't post anything on Facebook. I should. I actually need somebody to help me do all this stuff, to keep the machine well oiled, to keep the thing going. But that's probably where I saw the action there, where I saw the contest and all that stuff. Good night, Tim from Crystal. Sprite, yeah, but it's sugarless Sprite. You don't want to touch that stuff with a 10-foot pole. Sprite is Sprite, sugar free. No, thank you. Hey, so yeah, next time we're there, which will be in the next few months. Could have been sooner, Mertz, because Minnie and I we were supposed to go to Bohol. I may have talked about it a little bit. In order to get to Bohol, there's no easy way from Baybay. Well, there might be. It's expensive, but you have to fly out of Ormoc Airport. Ormoc is in operation, so you fly out, and then you fly into Bohol. Tagbilaran, I believe it is. And then our destination was going to be Pang Lao to visit a friend of ours from Sacramento. But it looks like it won't be happening because of all the stuff we have going on here at the house. So she's only here until September 10th. And so we could have met this trip passing through Cebu, but it looks like it's going to be a few more months before we head back to Cebu, but we'll be in touch with you so we can meet. And don't be shy. Oh, English? That's okay as long as you speak Visayan. We're good to go. Okay, Larry says take care, Tim. Oh, good for you. Don't do it. You'll become addicted to it. They want that. The soda companies want you to become addicted. Oh, you've never been? Yeah, but still, it's far. Bohol is like a 4.5-hour ferry ride from Cebu. So I was going to say, instead of flying there, we were going to go back, take the overnight ferry back to Cebu, and then take the 4.5. It's kind of weird, but then take the 4.5-hour ferry to Pang Lao. That's pretty much the way it's going to have to happen, because I'm getting tired of flying everywhere. We've been on planes for so many hours, in the last 45 days. I'm just burnt. So the way we were going to do it was take the ferry from either Baybay City or Ormoc, go to Cebu, go back to Cebu, and then take the 4.5-hour fast ferry from Cebu to Pang Lao. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen because we have so much stuff going on here. Yes, your English is fine, Merns, but your English is perfectly fine. But most Filipinos are shy and they want to tell you that their English is not great, including my own wife, who says that same thing often. But she makes for a great translator, when she needs to translate something from Visayan to English. She's very, very, very good at it very quick. I'm sure you are too, Mertz. Compliments all the way around. Yeah, it does, but it ain't so easy to get from Leyte. You would think that there'd be a direct ferry that goes from Leyte to Bohol, but there isn't. It makes sense that there would be one, but there isn't. So you either have to fly there or you have to take the ferry. And the direct flight from Leyte to Bohol is very expensive, but I'm also getting, even if I have the money to pay for it to fly, for my wife and I to go, I'm getting tired of flying. It's a very expensive 45-minute flight. That's all it takes to get from Ormoc City to Tagbilaran in Bohol. And then I guess you got to find a bus or a van and take that to Pang Lao. That's what we would have to do. And so I just, with all the stuff going on, with all the work we have to do, I just am getting burnt, getting burned out. And I was telling her, man, I think we better, I kind of had a feeling this might happen where I would burn out and then I would just want to be a homebody for a few months. So I think that's what's going on with me. Oh, really? Okay, well, we'll find out. I'll be the judge of that. I'll be the judge of that. But I find out people speak English very, very well, here in the Philippines, no matter where you are, even in the province. All right, folks, so we've been going for 2 hours, 23 minutes, and 54 seconds. I think that we're going to call it a live stream. So this is the first one of many that are going to be coming your way from Baybay City, Leyte. And then, of course, the videos will start soon. We have to get through, I want to show you the rest of the journey through Manila, Cebu, and over here to Baybay City, Leyte. And then it probably is going to become one of those journal channels, where you show the daily life of the happy married couple and her family. Those kind of videos. Or I'll just bail on that whole idea and then just do live streams from here on out. And I'll certainly be talking to you guys about how I monetize this channel. They don't call me, like I said, a low tech Dan for nothing. So, traditional sign off from Larry Lee. Take care, everyone. Stay safe and healthy. Plus, as always, try to have fun. And we shall see everybody on the next live stream. Bye, Crystal. Thanks for coming. Dodger Blue, we'll see you next time. And I will be resting up and will certainly give Minnie my best hug. Catch you later, Peter. And Mertz, we'll do our best to not be so lazy and give you play-by-play travel videos. Good night, everyone. See you around. Bye-bye. Thumbs up.